It's almost 12 noon. I just checked, and it's October 14th. It is Thursday, October 14th, I believe. I always miss something about it. I always miss something. If it's not the time, is the date. I don't know. Birds are here, and they're hungry as hell. So yeah, they'll went to get it right away. Okay, so it's like 80 degrees today. Say October 14th. Yeah, 2 weeks. What this shit happened? It's like I blink and a whole week went by, and I blink again 2 weeks. October 14th. Unbelievable. You can make this shit up, like for real. This is time speed I have never seen. That's what they say when you get old. That's what they say. So when you get old, time flies. Or time flees. Or you catch fleas. Something like that. Stupid language from here. So, yeah, it's very nice today. I don't know why. I do suspect I know why, because they're playing too much in the sky. We have July and August raining every day. Actually, they made it rain, but not the other way. Humongous clouds, coming from the ground to the sky. So my friend went again on a second date. Unbelievable. I wish I could. I never met this character. I want to say like, hey, a mirror. It's not about a mirror. It's about, not being stupid. She made him go over there on the false pretenses in the middle of the day. It took him 3 hours to get to PK. I'm like, unbelievable. I don't blame my friend, because he's not from here, and he's been going through a drought. If you know what I mean. I already told him about the rats. I don't know if they reported them or not. These people are multiplying like crazy. That's why I cannot put any more food over there. I actually forgot about them. I'm like, wow. The other day, they chased me away, practically. They all started, like, looking at me. Hell no. And just as it got hot, I see, like, couples and stuff, We are so dependent on the sun. We want to, bullshit around. I don't know where he get these damn bagels from. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's awful. Then again, Arabs are not known for their honesty, I was watching videos of Nigeria since yesterday. I mean, there was another massacre. It's just insane, how we just go through the same over and over again. I guess it was because of lack of communication. Now we have internet, so hopefully we start waking up. Hopefully we start waking up because I mean, I like this channel, the Renaissance. But anybody can see it. Anybody can see it, Nigeria never really became independent. I mean, as a matter of fact, the leader of I think it's Burundi, the Burundi nation. The leader, was in England when he got arrested. So a lot of times it's just like, I mean, it gotta come to a point that you have to ask yourself, why don't you reach out to Cuba? It sounds to me what you're doing in London. You're trying to pact your independence with the same people who finance them. I mean, the Fulani. I just can't get over it, how often we use that word in Latin America, when we don't know somebody's name or we want to to imply, everybody, we say fulanito, fulanito y merenganito, fulano y merengano, fulano y merengano. Who was those people? It's like Yoruba. Yoruba meant, it still mean dishonest people. But they said they got nothing to do with the other word, Yoruba. So you always gotta ask yourself these questions, why? And then they find no records of the Yorubas, going to 2,000 years ago like everybody else. Um, in Africa, especially in Africa, I mean, like, just like, and I'm thinking about myself. I'm thinking about ourselves over here, like, shit, they made up just about every freaking, well, not everything, but a lot of, like Olmec, you know. I mean, come on. They say even Nigeria, they said they credit that to a freaking cracker journalist, some Becky, that, which I mean, I doubt it. I doubt it. There's nothing. The more I learn about Mother Continent, there's nothing we can invent that it wasn't even invented already there. Like, the tablets and the cell phones and the internets and the whatever. It's like, there's nothing how to all this communication with everybody. How was they communicating? Without, like super highways, freeways, whatever they call it. So it is, but that's a different thing. That is a different thing. But I mean, like, yeah, I mean, you see any video, you pick up Nigeria history, 60 years, which they just had supposedly their birthday a couple years ago, I think. So they're just a little older than me. I'm 56, like, according to this thing. So you are a baby. So you are a baby. So I am very frustrated, and I told once to the leader of the Burundi nation, I told him, it's like, shit, we went, 500 years, in Mexico, I mean, I'm talking about our indigenous nations. Our indigenous brothers and sisters went through hell 500 years. I mean, not always. I mean, granted, there was a lot of propaganda. People that like a lot of say like, oh, because we just celebrated, oh my God. I hate this language. I hate this language so bad, We celebrated. No, it was a luctuous. It was an anniversary of a dreadful anniversary of the fall of Tenochtitlan, the greatest city in the world. I mean, according to what we know so far. I'm just going to go according to what we know so far. It was larger than any other city around, even larger than Rome, even larger than, and it was not made like Rome. The problem, Rome was made out of, just a lot of people attempting to escape, the so-called barbarians that they unleash on the people. They manufactured these barbarians that the Romans call barbarians, they manufactured these groups. And they blamed them. Like over here, the ISIS, Boko, whatever, it's the same thing. The so-called cartels in my home country. It's like, there's no idea. I mean, like, the more we learn, it's like, shit, that term, we never knew that term in Latin America. We never knew that shit. It's like, they made it up, like, in Colombia, whatever. And then they started, like, the journalists started interviewing them. Which, by the way, how do you explain that all these cartels, so-called cartels, and all these, groups, like, the ones I mentioned so far, and more, they do got a direct line to the New York Times. And they're always like, this is why I mistrust a lot of the Zapatistas today, because they are like, you go to their website and they have it available in Italian. Why do you have your shit of it, like, whatever, why you like, and all they do is gender this, gender that, as if that is, this is like lying to say that this machism machismo, whatever they call it over there. I don't know. El machismo de la patriarchal oppression, masculine toxicity, all the bullshit is nothing else but, you know, being us being fucked up. We got literally fucked up for centuries to the point which we don't even know which way. I mean, like literally, we don't even know which way is the north. We cannot even find our north. What we call north is actually the south. I mean, like let's start like right there. So you want to come and tell me that you are citing. I mean, of course you can cite sources, of course like that but you have to interpret them, for what they are. They're propaganda. All the books that the Renaissance go through, which is amazing because it's opening our eyes, and all this research that it's just a matter of getting a technique and getting getting all the insights, how to get into these private libraries. I mean, which is sometimes it's very expensive too, and sometimes you have to have a credential. You have to have a in order to now it's just like only for people who are like actually have a press pass. So we are not considered media, even when people look for alternative sources desperately, and still we got no legitimacy. So anyway, so we just have to be interpreted, and he do a great job at that. He do a great job at that. The Renaissance, but we went through hell. I mean, like I say, just to finish that thought, people think it's like when Tenochtitlan fell, which it was 200 years. No, it was 300 something. No, I got so many dates. We actually had the 500th anniversary of the foundation, of the inauguration of the city of Tenochtitlan. It was I don't know the word, insipid celebration, of the foundation, which is like, and it's good because we all getting like every time there's a landmark anniversary, we all gravitate to talk about it. I mean, I spend like a month looking. I'm still looking for people talking about it. But I want the people who actually, the direct descendants that are not sellouts like the Moctezumas, which they all went to live in Europe. They are some of the biggest traders there is. We have Pablo in the Foreign Affairs Council, Secretary of Foreign Affairs. We have like all his family, all the Moctezumas are like happy and always in the media involved, and because they are wealthy. They settle. They like and it's an atrocity. Like his daughter, his beloved daughter. Like they call her Isabel. Just a slap in the face. That witch. Who's credited with the expedition. So she actually was appointed as a hero to our peoples. We have 110 nations in Mexico, in the Anahuac, which is what is called the real name, Anahuac. Some spell it with a K and spell it with a C, whatever, whether you spell it with a W or spell it with an H, the Anahuac. Because it's the landmass between the water. That's where we are. We are these humongous landmass between the Pacific and the Atlantic. Well, the Atlantic used to be the Ethiopian Sea not too long ago. This is how the people they just go like, oh yeah. And this break my heart because my friend, he is very conscious, but he still watch those documentaries and stuff. We have to. I don't. I mean, I have to first do a search and say, this is what I'm saying. Like I don't even, I mean, I I like the Renaissance, but I'm not gonna to say like, oh, like we say in Mexico, I'm not gonna put my hands in the fire for nobody. So because everybody is like, nowadays I see like in Mexico, they don't buy the whole channel because they know that don't work. People find out that is bought and paid for, and so they buy one or two episodes, and that's where and mysteriously those episodes sometimes they get a lot of views. So they're planting the seed, and like right now they got us all crazy. They got us all crazy. It's like like droplets. Like we say, atole with the finger. That's what they're giving us. Atole with a finger. Atole is a corn beverage, delicious. Sometimes it's with cacao, chocolate. That's my favorite. So the finger like this with drops. So I was finding about the kingdom of Kunz, Punz. I don't know. I'm like, this is all so new to me that I'm like, and they found out about because of Kemet. Kemet, they say that was the land of the gods. I don't know if that's where the remains of there's like a whole oh my god, Naptoplaya. 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 I don't know if that's what it is, but it all point out that it was in so-called, they call it Sudan, the kingdom of Kush. It was like, so that's what it point out. I mean, of course, they're talking about the Arabic Peninsula. So, I mean, if it was in the Arabic Peninsula, it was in Africa still, right? Because it's a peninsula. The Arabic Peninsula is a peninsula. We have the Rockaways. It's a freaking peninsula. That shit is still New York. It's still Queens because it's a peninsula. It's in the borough of Queens. The Rockaways, that's what it is, a peninsula. But they were so evil to create this identity, and because they're very strategic. A lot of times people think, oh, they are ashamed of being Africans or whatever. It's not that alone. It is a whole lot of stuff. Like you want to separate. It's like we're in the border with Guatemala. And just imagine like the Guatemalans, they start saying that it was white or that it was something like that, and it's like they turn like Dominican Republic and Haiti, what they call it, Haiti, because they hate it. That's why they call it that. And but that's all they've been doing. They've been snitching and everything they want to because obviously the heroes, they have this what we call like a splinter. They have not been able to take it out, because Haiti, beat their asses 3 times. The Spanish Empire, the French Empire, the English Empire, they all got a good smacking, shameful. Which was the greatest empires of their time, the greatest empire. And and we know now because like the great Emperor Dessalines, Jean-Jacques Dessalines the first. Oh my God, I cannot get looking at anything else. I get distracted, I'm sorry. Oh gosh, she's gone. She's looking at that bus. Oh God. Anyway, it will come back to me. I'm not gonna sweat time over there. So, so like I said, a lot of people they misbelieve that. Oh, the falling of Tenochtitlan. Um, that was entire hemisphere, the whole Americas, and so, or even Mexico, called Mexico, which is an outrageous thing because like I say, we have 110 nations, and now they all have to be under that umbrella. I think like I'm descendant of the Chichimecas. The Chichimecas is another nation that that was in the midst of. I mean, I don't know. That's what they say. Like it was the nomads, because we everything we know a lot of times is because of the heroes, and they say that they're nomads. And that's the same thing. I mean, like in everywhere, especially in the motherland, the mother continent. It's like there was always the people who just did not believe in city life, did not want to be city life, and they wanted to be in direct contact with Pachamama, with Mother Nature, that's the way it got to be. We got to be informed. We cannot come out with these great ideas that gonna target all these species that now are on the verge of extinction, right? Or causing fixing one thing and causing this. They're putting on this show to say people, oh my God, 80 degrees, October 14, 80 degrees. This is evidence of global warming. No, I saw how you was pumping clouds in the sky every day. July, August, I saw them come out from the air. And there's a documentary, I haven't found it yet, on how they make the clouds. Manufacture clouds. And I'm not talking about like a little cloud, it's humongous. So, okay, I'm going to talk about just 70 years, the last 70 years, which of whom, I spent 56, which of whom, I was a baby for some years of that. But I can tell you, these last 70 years in Mexican life have been pure hell. I'm not going to compare it to nobody. It's not a one-upmanship or whatever. I cannot, we know they're always the most vicious attacks. We know whose against are, so we always know. So I'm not going to be like that. But what we have seen, I mean, like, and I'm gonna tell them to watch this message. We got to see all our progress, especially our elders and the previous generations who gave their life. Like, for instance, the nationalization of our oil. We can see the videos. People gave everything. They gave the wedding band. They gave the baby's jewelry, whatever. Everything most sacred, they gave it for us to have oil, not to become a bitch. Like we just saw it, the last of the tyrants was a puppet, inconsequential puppet. Peña Nieto. He modified the Constitution to put the oil into NAFTA, which is the treaty. We always forced to sign treaties, and we live next to a superpower. You just got to save face as much as you can, That goes without saying, but that SOB, he will never find peace. He gotta wear wigs. He gotta disguise himself. It's like, and that's what I see other people don't do. You gotta take out your trash. You know, he's afraid of eating out because my people work in restaurants. The only jobs I had was a waitress. So, but I see it over here in this hemisphere. I mean, like, you're gonna see a lot of Mexicans in the kitchen. So, and even they come over here, they bring them over here. They got the nerve to bring them over here to universities and speak. And there's always a Mexican telling them in front of everybody, you're a thief, you're a piece of shit, you know. So this is our life commitment to make sure they never find peace. You know, I mean, I'm just telling you, you know, actually, AMLO, you know, President AMLO, this is the initials. He actually got a heart attack when they passed that law to modify our constitution to give our oil away. You know, he worked himself so much into, you know, and he learned from that. I don't know how he's around, you know. He wake up at 4 in the morning and don't go to bed until sometimes 11, 12 midnight, you know. He's sleeping 4 hours a day, and he adores us, you know, just as Dr. Umar Johnson, Ifatunde, Dr. Ifatunde adore you, and like a lot of people cannot take love no more because they have not been able to take love for so long. So it's like love is very foreign now, and when you see a lot of times when people see love, they're like they run away because it's so foreign, such a foreign concept. I am one of them. Like, I can understand, you know, a lot of languages, but that one is a challenging thing. So that's just, you know, we had 6 refineries. They let them rot. And what they could sell, they sold it for like $1,000 just to F us out. I mean, not 1,000, I mean like $1 million or $2 million. Our Secretary of Energy right now, she's amazing. She narrates how she went into one of these oil refineries and she found out because, you know, to make gasoline, there's different stages you go. And one of them is like a nuclear something. I don't know what it is. But that shit was wired out. Got a fence all around. I mean, I'm going into this detail because I think it's important, is to know how perverse these people are. So it got wired out and it got locks. It was all locked. And she asked, what is this locked? Oh, because they rented. They rented to somebody. Of course, it was illegal. We're still in litigation, you know. I mean, for like $2 million. I mean, when this thing costs like $60, $100 million, this is like part of an oil refinery, you know, like, you know, all the refineries, you know, I was working at 20% capacity. So just go, you know, when they want to bring you to your knees, they gotta take everything from you. Because that's obviously like the way I tell all my friends, do never leave paycheck to paycheck. Because that's what happened to my social worker right now. He had to be, you know, he just told me, shit, you know, I got my grandma, I got my mom, I cannot quit. So, because he did not have savings, he did not have whatever, he had to be, you know, you always become a bitch. If you don't have any savings, if you don't have any, you know, like stock away, you know, like whatever, you always have to have it. You always have to have. That's what I learned from my grandma. My grandma, she always had like a hidden spot everywhere. And with dollars. My grandma, she got dollars hidden everywhere. Every time one of her children and probably even grandchildren came out, she would like remember where she dug that whatever, and she would take him out of trouble. Why? Because you cannot trust it. And there's people that they know. They know that. Like my friend, that I talk about from Florida, he's like, he know all this stuff. And guess what? When we went to the store, the Wally Lamb, I call it Wally Lamb, I'm going to give promotions. He got all this garbage. Cookies and crackers and all that stuff. Like I say, how can you know how they are? If anybody knows how they are, and they are the first one to drink the grape juice, the grape soda, what do they call it, grape juice? The all this shit. It's like, how are you gonna eat? I mean, we're talking about holistic. We're talking about holistic, and I don't need to say anything more after that. If you understand this is holistic. It's from all angles. Our own mothers become our enemies, they're weaponized against us. We see that. Your own wife, your own daughter is like calling, them a drug or toxic, barbaric, all these, satanizations, which is like, that's where I was going to. Those are the sequels. This is the legacy from colonization. I'm not even going to try to address the legacy from slavery. And all kinds of slavery, from chattel slavery, which was the worst right here, to the slaveries in the mother continent. All types of slaveries that, you're free, unless, you want to walk away. Like, So, okay, so we're going to 70 years. 70 years. We went from our great hero, President Lázaro Cárdenas del Rio. I did not even know he was born in my home, in my neighboring state. Can you believe it? Had they told me about when I was a child, I had no reason to be proud. They never told us about nothing about our people. They only told us, oh, there was a guy from Guadalajara, which is where I'm from, which is an Arabic name. You can look it up, Guadalajara. It got two different interpretations. You grab the one that you want. Oh, he invented the color television. But they didn't give the credit to him. Okay, so that's what we're turning out. Now I'm finding out stuff because of the internet. The land where I'm from, all that area, was millions killed themselves. Say, well, hell no. We already know, because they knew beyond time. They knew beyond time. Our greatest university, as far as we know so far today, was in Cholula, in Puebla. That was the first massacre. You can look it up. The first massacre, that was if it would be equivalent, it would be the university. That was one of the greatest universities that came from the entire hemisphere to study. It was all Olmec. That was where they studied the Toltecayotl. Toltecayotl, which to me is the equivalent of the principles of Ma'at. It was a blueprint of how to live and thrive in harmony with Pachamama. And that's what we're all pushing about. Oh my God, let me show you. This is horrendous. Look at how. That's how it look now. So I'm taking the sun, but all night they have the drones spraying us. This I forgot what it's called. So 70 years of hell. but not obviously for me because obviously my grandfather, was black, but he always looked for the palest women. That's a cancer we have to eradicate. But I'm gonna put you this example. You can look it up. The Yaqui Nation. Yaqui. They was forced to migrate from the south to the north. You know, just how that the whole what they call it, the switcheroo kind of thing. So they would enslave I saw one of your letters, that talking about them. Oh my God, I got distracted with a voice. I'm sorry. It's gone. So sorry. I love to I have ADD. As you can tell. Come out. It will come out one day. So, if you can take a look at if you give me your email, I can send you some links. Oh hell, the Yaqui Nation have come through. Just one. 110 that we got registered. Nations that we got. Everybody. We had to do we had our last decree from our emperor Cuauhtemoc. We call it Cuauhtemotzin. The suffix, the zin, it means revere. So if you see anything zin at the end, that means revere. Of course, the graphics, they make fun of it. They even call the traders that, So, Cuauhtemotzin, it also means our revere, father or mother, Our revere, Cuauhtemotzin. He let, you can look it up. Cuauhtemoc last letter, or Cuauhtemoc last decree. Where he ordered everything to be hidden during 5 letters, 5 whatever they call it, voice letters, which is 5 generations. So the last generation died in the 60s. So we've been finding out a lot. So what we have not apparently, or we have not found a copy of the Toltecayotl, which is what we're looking for. We're looking for a copy, and I know that they're hidden somewhere. They're hidden, and it's like our elders and our sages, they are releasing as much as they see that it's going to be safe, I guess. So they're so it is all, like I said, drops, counting drops with a dropper. So we are all eager to learn. So that was just that. So 70 years of hell. And what's happening right now? Got the best president ever. That was always with the people, for the people, everything for the people. So, he even stopped having banking accounts. He stopped owning property. He gave his property to his children, and that's it. He still lives there, but it's not his, because he knew. He prepared himself for 40 years. He was studying and studying. He loved to read. Hey, Mickey Mouse. He loved to read. He loved to, and he know everybody in Mexico. Mexico, at least. So he know everybody. So they underestimated him. They called him, the tropical messiah. They made fun of his. In the South, they still have a lot of the African cadence, when they talk, like in so-called, South America. the Avi Ayala. That's what they call it. They used to call it Avi Ayala before the crackers arrived. Mm. Which is like a lot of I mean, I'm always curious because I know a lot of the words that start with an A, they're credited to the Arabs because that's what they stole, but it's all African, like all the stuff that they stole, like, well, you steal it and you don't steal it, like the Phoenicians were still Africans. So they ended up making their own language, to communicate with the crackers, and they got sucked in. And they all got sucked in, and they're like, oh, they all saw that the more they talk shit against Mother Africa, it's just like today. Just like today, like, sorry, I used to have a Garifuna friend of mine from Honduras, and she used to make that proof. They used to make that experiment. She used to put a wig, a platinum wig, a blonde wig, and she would get like 1,000 likes, thumbs up. She left out her natural hair, she got 10 likes. It never failed. It never failed. It never failed. I mean, like if I go and dye my hair blonde or whatever, all this shit, and wear those ridiculous contact lenses, there's rewards. There's always rewards. The more you look like the slave master, there's rewards. And we don't talk about it. We don't talk about it. But we need to talk about it. Like, oh yeah, you get high on those rewards, but you're being a clown. You're being a clown. Yeah, it's always, as long as you want to be a clown, there's ovation. So right now, from actually the moment that he was elected, he started putting on work. A lot of people, they don't know him. They're like, what the hell? How did he do that? Well, because all this stuff, all the vision that he started planning 40 years ago. 40 years ago, he knew that he wanted to build a train to connect all major archaeological sites. He knew all this stuff. I mean, that is just the way it is. So, I mean, the reason I'm saying this, why I'm saying this. I'm saying this because, I don't want to, guys, make a wrong decision. And I know, I mean, the Renaissance is not a separatist channel as far as I know. I don't know. I mean, right now, look at this. Feminism. You go, girl. Yeah, you can do whatever you want, girl. Yeah, girl. Fuck 'em. Fuck 'em, everybody. Do you, girl. Do you. I have to move on because I fucking practice listening to everything I say. It's like, there's no sense of nothing, This is ridiculous, I'm not waiting to believe. I keep forgetting to put the radio in my bag. I gotta put in the radio in my bag. Or something, you can have, because people are shameless. He just sat in front of me, and he's just like, you can tell that he's just listening to everything I'm saying. It's not like, okay, let's sit behind this bitch and listen to everything she said. At least, you have which I mean, I hate it too, but I mean, it's a free country. I was free to move away from there. So that is it is an inside job. It is an inside job. Nobody's gonna come and save you. Nobody's gonna come. That's what we did. It is unbelievably frustrating. you know, election after election being stolen in front of our eyes until July 1st, July 18th. Was it July 18th? No, July 1st, 2018. Oh my God, that's my favorite date. July 1st, 2018, when we went and voted. That was the first time I voted in my life, you know, in my 50s. I was in my 50s and I voted from here, from New York City. So that was the first time I voted, and you know, it was described as a tsunami. So how do you make fraud? You know, I mean, they was ready. We are still finding out how many millions and millions of dollars they threw away in that election, just trying to, you know, do what they do. They gave away, you know, the only thing that they gave away was houses. You know, they're just trying to give away everything to get people, you know, to, you know, to preach their bullshit, you know, but everything failed because the people went out. The people went out. And yes, it was crazy. I was like, oh my God, how could this be freaking possible, you know? I mean, because they were shameless. They were shameless. You know, they burned the poles where the ballots are. They built the whole house. They burned the whole house. They started, you know, just shooting their guns in the air to scare people from going voting. I mean, you name it. You name it. They do everything to stop people from getting into the ballots, to the polls. You know. So that's what they do. And I'm remembering at the beginning. That's what I say. You know, it's plain to see when you see all the videos from Nigeria, and you see the Brits right there. So I think it's obvious that you don't get your independence in life and keep the same institutions like that, because that's what happened to us. For us, supposedly we have 211 years of independence, supposedly, allegedly. But it's a constant struggle. It's a constant struggle that to be always on top of everything, and because depoliticization is so easy now. It is so easy, and like that is like with my friend that, you know, well, he's leaving in a couple more weeks. Thank God. You know, just like I've been living by myself for more than 30 years, so it's hard to live with somebody, and he's not very social. It's like, I thought it's like, well, at least I have somebody to talk to, but he don't want to talk to. He's always watching these freaking cracker documentaries, you know, like always like. But I cannot get distracted. I'm like, I'm listening to everything she said. Involuntarily. It's just so. Any more countries? I mean, like, you see how the UN, you saw the National Assembly, it was empty. It was empty. The more countries, you know, the more like, I mean, it's easier for them to go and say, you know, because they buy the votes. In all the international courts and all the international organizations, they go and buy the votes. I'm gonna go back to see This is how we get in this trouble. It's not that the problem, like making new countries. Yeah, making new countries, yeah, sound good, but are they gonna be strong enough to say no to the corporate interest, to all the, because they all got their own agenda, they all got their own thing that they're pushing. And the problem is that we don't see that. We don't see that until it's too late. Once it's too late, then we see like, that's what Dr. John Henry Clark, which is like, one of the greatest, master teachers that I ever encountered. He used to say they don't think in years. Like they make us think in years, right? They say, oh, it's the Gregorian BS, and si no saben las mil so he was listening to me. That's what they do. They don't want to intimidate people. Damn crackers. So it's about that too. It is about that too. I mean, I really don't know nothing about the leader or the Burundi nation, but it do sound like it's very strategic, the way that this conflict. I feel like these conflicts, they provide a lot of like a big smoke screen, like Tigray and I mean, it is very frustrating. It is very frustrating. I wish you the best. I wish you all the best to my beautiful Nigerian brothers and sisters. And I know it's just no joke. I mean, I was in, I'm from the central part of Mexico. I did not suffer. We are called the pearl. We are called the pearls of the Pacific. The pearl of the East in Mexico. I was very privileged, but I knew even within my city, we have Calzada Independencia. I don't know how you say Calzada. It's like a humongous avenue that divides the city in two. And the other side, it's like, wow. So I always say it's the tale of two cities. One city got it all, on one side of the city got it all, and one side of the city got nothing. That's just the way they do. And I think right now, our best bet is just to exhibit these inequalities, just to tell the world and just to go to the international courts. I'm just so glad. I've been saying that, especially the last 2 weeks. I say, enough is enough. We got to take him to international courts. Like right here, Obama turned my country into this humongous cemetery, with Operation Fast and Furious. You can look it up. Obama's Operation Fast and Furious. He gave him high caliber, high-end weapons and millions to these so-called, like I say, cartels. Which was not even. It was children. They gave it to the children. Come on. Don't you think we need reparations? Don't you think we got to a good indemnification? This is something that's the only way we're gonna get them. That is the only way we're gonna get them. We need to promote all our children to go to international law school. That is the career. Like, okay, you wanna really, you wanna go to college, you wanna go to university. You gotta go to international law school. And it's not easy because they're not letting a lot of, So you have to learn online a lot. They have to whatever, but you have to be up to date because these are books and books and books. It's all about treaties. I mean, most of Mother African problems is just the stroke of a pen. That was it. The Bandung conference, the Berlin conference, the what's it called, the Bula, the papal, the popes, whatever they call it. This happened all. I mean, like, Constantine. He signed it into a law. Into a law. People, they don't get this. I'm trying to tell people. It is a law that Jesus is the Son of God. Decreed it. Decreed. I know. I wonder how many people who live in those times, with I think at that time they call it Holy Roman Empire, whatever. Desperation. They were like, oh, we lost everything. How can we religion, always religion, So it is extremely important, all the contracts and documents. We must audit them. We must audit those things. We must audit their behavior. Even just in the last 50 years. Just with that, they gotta pay up for the crimes against humanity. This is serious, and so I'm glad that Venezuela now they're talking about that they're gonna be suing Colombia because they're promoting a lot of xenophobia, so they're going to the international courts, and also they're gonna there's another one that they're gonna go, I guess, to the United Nations for I don't know, but that's what I sometimes I'm looking for on Twitter. I look at I call it the nasty bird, the big bird. That's I look it up. These tendencies. That's the only thing that hurt him is the bucket. It's the bucket. That's it. And that's it. And once international courts and everything, everybody you gotta pay out. You gotta pay out. Of course, they're not gonna pay out at the beginning, but you gotta say hey, you lost all these trials. You gotta pay out. You gotta pay out. And they don't have any money. Well, you gotta pay the same way we paid out, right? When the International Monetary Fund, contact governors and presidents and say, oh, so you don't have money to pay. Oh, so you did not read the fine print, huh? You did not read the fine print. That's actually how they go. People, they get life insurance, they get all these freaking insurance, and when the person is not Caucasian, then they go oh. So you miss that. They always leave that. Everything is discretionary to them. Everything is discretionary when it comes to them. When it comes to us, it's like the law. It's, oh no, the law, one way. But everything else amongst themselves is discretionary. Should we apply it? Should we collect it? Should we do this? Should we that is discretionary. So I'm pushing my government. I'm pushing that French. We got a French guy for prime minister, and I really want him before we have 3 years left in office, and we still don't have anybody to succeed or beloved leader. It's so scary. It's scary. They want to try to reverse everything, but he's already told us they won't be able to reverse it. He knew exactly there's nothing like experience. He's only 65 years old, but he politically, he's pretty close president. So I say this because we are setting precedent, whatever you say. You see how this language is crazy? Sound the same. I look up, more scratches. This shit never actually happened. This shit never actually happened. You know, like it was just whatever you want to call it, but it happened, and it need to be studied how it happened. But I think it all come out from actually having a true, honest leader. Like in this case, I proposed Dr. Ifatunde. You know, I don't think he got bank accounts. I don't think he got Paradise Papers, nothing. And he need to be an emperor of the African diaspora. He need to become, you know, an extra leader, you know, an extra whatever they call it, and just say he's an authority for us, and he's gonna go to the international courts too. You gotta find ways to make new representation within what I already built, because that's the first thing they do. Even before they even target our country, they already started making all these institutions. So, why, to give it all an air of legality, with all the stamps, all the, you go dizzy, and then you go like that. But it's so easy. It is so easy. Like right now, we all know that everything was illegal. They say, we ask them, who gave you the Anahuac? Who gave you the Americas? They say the Pope. And a lot of people say he did not have any legality. He did not have any power to give you that. He did not have any power to give you Africa. He did not have any. So we got to now, with a call-out culture and you know, with the internet, we got to take advantage of this. And we got to start, because this is, it is like, it's so sloppy that you start pulling a little thread. Next thing you know, like naked, you know, everything is out there. And I know I live here in the belly of the beast. You know, New York is called the Empire State. The Empire State. A lot of secrets are buried here. And but it is so sloppy. Like, you know, it looked really great from a distance. You see those books and all those signatures and all this papyrus, whatever they were. You know, and people get intimidated. They say, oh, that's legality. That shit is legal. No, it's not legal. But you gotta go fast enough. You gotta go back enough, you know, and the documents, and you find out that that shit that pivoted, that gave him the leverage, which is the Vatican, you know, more than 700 years of, you know, the reign of terror. Nobody's talking about that reign of terror from Vatican City, you know. That is where a lot of them, they get the legality. Even the Protestants, even like whatever, they go like, oh, you know, that's it, and it's not, and it is not, and it is time to start digging out all the documents from Mother Africa. I'm sure that they still exist. I know they've been hidden. They gotta be taking pictures, and they gotta be like, you know, all this stuff is right there. You know, one of the things I got from watching all these documentaries on Nigeria was like, you know, how easy it would have been for them just to steal everything with the royalty, the concept of royalty and lineage, all this stuff. I mean, like, you can tell it's totally budge, you know, once it get to Europe. So totally budge. It's like, but all the concepts, all that stuff, you know. So you know, even the fabrics. Come on, even the fabrics. You know, they do supposedly the tartan, whatever. They say that's from their lineage or whatever. It's like everything is like right there. It's like right there. It's like right now all you have to do is just poke a little bit, and you see the hologram is just so cheap. It is very cheap, and that's why there's a whistle say that they had to speed up 50 years. And I believe that. I believe that the more I think about it, the more I look around it, everything's so sloppy. These things, it's like whatever, like nothing add up. Nothing add up. The great Bobby Hammett, I hope he's doing well. He unfortunately got a stroke. But here's to say, they are time traveling. They are time traveling. They're like initially they're the beginnings of time traveling. So this is why a lot of stuff, they don't make sense to us. I mean, when I heard one of his lectures about that, I was like, yeah, that shouldn't make sense. It's like how they just like even Tenochtitlan. Like how is it that just a handful of, I mean, we know that. I don't need to get into the whole thing. Yes, I am trying to stay away from the subway, the one with the rhythm that don't got any rhythm, the algae rhythm, the algae. So I'm trying to stay away from those things, which is crazy. I mean, like, we're all terrified of the software. I gotta open a channel every 3 months. Like, I gotta, like, just hopping. Now they don't even allow us to put a picture on. This is how, like, you can tell their psychosis. This is the paranoia. The paranoia to target a channel that got no subscribers, no views, nothing. What is that called? Paranoia. They're hunting me down like a freaking bitch. Oh, that's the female dog, I should say. And it is right now, crucial to be persistent. To be persistent. I commend you. For your work. I hope you never sell out. And because especially nowadays it's like, it's not gonna be like like Isabel Moctezuma. I mean, yes, they was able to get away with it in the ceremony, to go and say that she was a good woman. But I mean, we all know best. I mean, we just don't want to disrespect right now, and we don't want to create any more smoke screens, which I don't know if that was the intention. I guess they was trying to create, because I mean, if it's the 500th anniversary of the foundation of the great Tenochtitlan, you was expecting like that. There was no representatives from none of the indigenous nations, in the Anahuac. Canada, they sent a lesbian. Can you believe that? And also the governor, ex-governor, I think, or whatever, of Arizona came out. Whatever, you can look it up. It was just inconsequent ceremony, very lackluster, and it should have been like a whole year, but it should have been just like a budget. That's another thing I hate about this administration. I mean, there's very few things I hate about this administration, which, I mean, it's hard to hate because they're taking millions out of poverty, at least of extreme poverty. So, and given an opportunity, not just with scholarship, with tuition, so you don't have to just go to school starving with no books and shit, So, what is that? The disappearance of our indigenous nations. Especially, I despise the mayor of Mexico City. She's been instrumental, and like the streets are for poor people. I hate going into stores. I just hate going into stores. Even before this shit, I just hate it. I just don't like going into stores. I like, the street. Whatever you got in the street, that's how I grew up. You got in the street, I get it in the street. That's it. I tell them over here at the deli, they call it deli, the bodega, the corner store. I tell them, they got windows right there. Open the damn window. All I have to do is just like I pay and then I come back and pick it up. All I order is a bagel, my cup of coffee, and that's it. I'm not trying to eat their poison either, which is that's another thing, like it's shocking, how much stuff over there in Mother Africa have made it too. Look like it's indigenous traditions. Then they make it like it's indigenous food too. They're gonna say next thing they're gonna say, high fructose syrup. It's indigenous, so whatever. They just it is frustrating. I know I got lost. I'm sorry, I got lost in the whole thing. Like that freaking cracker is staring. I might as well just staring at them listening to me. Like they all get offended. They all get in their feelings. It's like, I'm like, bitch, everybody, we don't know what you did. We know what you've done the last 2,000 years. One way or another. We sometimes it's like, I find like, like an onion, like the onion layers. Sometimes it's just the epidermis, whatever they call it. But you know it. You know it. Whether you don't want to know it, but you already know. And that's what the every parent gotta teach their children. We are their bitch. That's what we are. We gotta say it like that. We gotta say it like that. We cannot, like in my country, the last treaty that we was forced to sign again, um, you know, we cannot develop any technology. We cannot, get too deep with China. We cannot. They tell us who to talk to, how to talk to. That's what it is. It's like, shit. That's not normal. That's not normal. I mean, like you can say like, hey, we want you to collaborate. We are next door neighbors. Imagine living next door to the freaking devil. Nigeria is not next door to England. Imagine if it was next door. Imagine if it was next door. And sometimes I go like, like, I can only imagine the freaking Irish. But they all sell out. They all sold out. They all sold out. I don't even believe there's any more Irish left. So that's just how it is. And I mean, like, it's not gonna be happening, with us talking. It's gonna be happening with the legislation. It's gonna be happening, especially being always in touch with the local politicians. That's where it all starts. The local politician, if he like, that's when you know them. That's what you know them. You gotta record them. You gotta go to their town halls, whatever they do over there. You gotta go to their events and record them and have them on video, saying everything they say, because sometimes they start like a mayor of a small town, and then they become a governor, they become a senator, they become a congressman or something, and that's how you always keep an eye. It's just like, this is why there's no room for the arts. As much as you want to look in Kemet, they didn't have this theater, they didn't have this circus, they didn't have that shit, they didn't have time for that freaking circus. I'm still reading the Black Jacobins, and they say, in the island, by
by the, was it the 17th century, whatever, there was like 200 or something theater companies. Theater companies. Why do you need so much theater? But they always follow, like the they don't start from zero. They start always from the Romans, who said, just give them bread and circus. Lots of bread and circus. And you control them. That is, brain, what's it called? Like, I don't know, how we like a dictatorship 101, whatever. Keep them distracted. Keep them distracted. Don't let them get bored. Don't let them get bored. Why? Because when boredom come out, you're gonna panic. You're gonna panic. I was like that. And I see that in my friend. He really, I feel like he really believed like me. Like I used to believe boredom was the enemy of the world. Like, oh no, I will never be bored. I will never be bored. And there's no such thing as boredom. But it's like this is how in capitalism you have to create this concept of boredom. Boredom, and you're bored. You are bored. Is that what it is? Is that what it's called? I don't know. Yeah, I'm bored. I'm bored. And then you get another subscription to another network and another whatever. And we're constantly trying to fill these voids, and they're constantly producing shit, So I say, oh, try this. They always say, try this. When television started, ratings started going down, they released the internet. Was that a coincidence? Well, at first they created the cable, and they used reverse psychology, right? Because they understood that we don't like shit that is free. So I remember they started making like, oh, I got cable. Oh, you don't got cable? What a freaking idiot you are. You got no cable. So it was our pride. They poked at our pride, like, like, shit, I don't have cable. What are they watching on cable? You started wondering, what are they watching on cable? And then they got all these boats, well, back then there was no called boats. It was like real people, And they say, oh, that shit is so good, cable television is a shit, cable this, and next thing you know, I know people, they pay $200, $300 a month for cable television. And they don't watch shit most of the times because they don't have time. But they got it over there because it's a status symbol. That's reverse psychology. They know already how we operate. We don't want no shit that's free. I was like, oh, you got a regular television? You gotta get it thin. You gotta be flat and thin. And it gotta be like this. It gotta be... I see them, I walk in the street. They're in the garbage. I threw away mine's, the regular one, the one with the tube, because I never watched it. Not because it wasn't working, it was working perfectly. There's 25-year-old television working perfectly. And you can see everything, like there's a 19-inch screen, everything was good. But oh no, we have to surrender. We have to surrender. And you see, like, you go from flat screen televisions to Jabba 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 Do, right? And they say, what they told us, there's countries, they're fighting to get it. I'm on Twitter, I don't see no countries fighting to get that shit. I see countries, they say that, because that's what they gotta say now. In the National Assembly, they go and they cry out, oh, we want it. Yeah, because, they don't have it, and, you don't say you don't want it, then they call you barbaric. Why don't you? In Mexico, we got like millions of those things. Why? Because we was already being accused of being reckless with the population, barbaric. You're not gonna buy the job for your people. You're not gonna with your people. Like, so we didn't want no problem. We didn't want no problem. So we started getting millions of it out of fear. But it's out of fear that they're gonna call you like, how come you don't give it to your people? You're barbaric. And we gotta get it. That's reverse psychology again. Like they gotta be like, oh, and it's just like other countries they are dying to have it. Where? 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 I mean, like, and we are seeing, Mother Africa is like, I'm still looking for all those millions of bodies that were supposed to be produced and shit. But it's all propaganda. It's all strategic. Like, once they get to know us, this is why, they say data mining is more profitable than anything right now, which is hard to believe because they got so much ways to make, you know. But I believe it. I believe it because that's how they got. I use Proton. I use protonmail.com. Proton like an atom. Yeah. I mean, like, so much for avoiding the software, right? Yeah, well, that shit I found out. I mean, it's totally different. I started getting a lot less strikes on my channel. So if you do it, I mean, you can see the difference right away. You can see that. So far, they haven't sold out. So far. It's encrypted. It is encrypted. I don't know if it's encrypted outside the United States or not, but it is encrypted. So that is a good thing. So far that I feel like, I can breathe a little bit, like until they sell it out, But so far, I'm staying off the radar. It's like I was always like, a lot of like stuff happening to me, like. Anyway, that's a different thing. So I guess that's it. That's about it. That's about it. Great work. The Renaissance. It is great work, but we must organize the people. And part of organizing the people is political education. It is political education, and I know I get cursed out. I get cursed every time I say that we gotta become political. We gotta repoliticize ourselves. Depolitization, just think about it. Depolitization is the easiest thing to do. That shit is the easiest thing to do. It only takes is just one or two people and start and everybody go, because a lot of the rage start surfacing whether we want to admit it or not. A lot of the rage start coming out, and I know people, they shut down the conversation the moment I even mention politics, like political culture, political, capital. That's who you give that political capital to. All this stuff we have to. And I used to be one of those. When we won the elections, I was like, wow. I was able to, I mean, a lot of the stuff I thought that it was totally unrelated. It was like a direct line between, political shame in my life. I lived so ashamed. I never wanted to talk politics. I never want, and I see that a lot still in Latin America. I still see a lot of people. You see like a lot of like Dominican Republic, Colombia, all these Ecuadorians that they are just delusional, and they don't want to talk it with you. They don't even want to. They walk away. They're like, and for no effing reason, You know, there's a reason. You know, like I know, I even suspect that even members of my own family was part of those people who never pay taxes. So that's how they always stay in power because you don't pay taxes, you don't pay electric bill. This is what we're finding out now in Mexico. We're finding out the most prestigious ancient corporations that we have. The ones that my mother used to say, oh yes, our great grandmother used to shop at that store and blah blah blah. Never pay taxes, never pay the rent, never pay the whatever, never pay the electricity, the water, nothing. Why? Because that's what we do. Like you know, I I put on blast in my home country. Politicians having meetings with the union of the peons, the the European Union, telling them no worries, no worries. If you have any problems, if you cannot pay whatever, it's no problem. You know, basically telling the most important thing is that to have more whiteness in here. And unfortunately, I know a lot of Latin Americans. They just feel like, oh, progress, modernity have arrived to my neighborhood, to my city, to my country. Why? Oh, because that franchise is here, and we um, make it the equivalent of progress, civilization. Oh, it's like, damn, you don't even have a, whatever, famous coffee shop or whatever. You don't have that. This is barbaric. This is like, barbarism, living. How can you live like that when you don't even have the, fast food restaurant, you know, drive-through? They consider that to be like the epitome of sophistication and modernity. When you look at the gut, well, they're lacking. They're lacking. They're not gutsy, but they have a big belly, right? They have swollen bellies from so much chemicals that produce all these gases that it's unbelievably just disturbing. And now they're hoping with this new thing that this is going to trigger some of the old, you know, accumulations. That's what they're trying to do. But everything work. As I understand, everything work according to television too. I don't know exactly. I've watched some explanations, but I don't know exactly. There's some airwaves, too. That's why they didn't want to have the regular televisions because you build resistance. That is when you build resistance, And, if you build resistance, then you gotta. It's like a drug addict, right? You gotta get a different one. You gotta get a different one, to feel the same effect. So I don't know if it's true why we now have to have a cable so they can. I don't do it. I'm like 15 years clean of that stuff. I don't even look at it. Even if I go to the store and they're blasting it over there, it looks like so boring to me now. I cannot even relate it. I mean, I have had that experience in I go to a Mexican restaurant and they have that thing blasting over there. Like, what? It's just not. It's kind of like, smoking. I used to smoke in the 90s. And once you quit smoking, you smell it like 2 blocks away and you're like already like, ugh, smoking. Yeah, bitch, you was a smoker for years. Yeah, but, now that you quit smoking, it's irritating. It's just like, ugh. It's just like tobacco smoke, like, ugh. But while you're a smoker, and that's just for everything. That's just for everything. They always, if you buy your stuff at the bodega, the corner store, they're always upgrading the latest chemicals that they're putting over there because they're activating them with certain things to activate it. And I see that in New York City, which is, well, that was the first thing that attracted me when I came here in 1992. I moved into New York City. It was the music in the streets. Now you hear a little bit of music far away. Oh no, this used to be old. Got a boombox, there's drums, there was like, at least somebody humming. And they took that away from it. And now that I learn about uh, that stuff, there's this amazing looking, it looked like liquid and it looked like solid. And now I know what it is because I saw it one day. Somebody took me to see, I think it was the mummy or something, or the scorpion. And when you see all these beautiful, amazing, like shining black sculpture start breaking like glass. Oh my God, what is it that graphite? The graphite. Graphene, it's not graphene. Graphite I think is good. Graphene is something better. And I'm always in the street with my speaker and I see I have got, violent reactions. Not loud music, but I see over here in New York City people they have wild reactions to music. They don't like music and I'm like, when you hear about that graphene and it just how sensitive it is even to the sound. Like they're blasting, like a speaker over there. And you start dancing. The graphene. I'm telling you, I know that's what it was. And there was like some people they got touched and they all turned into this gorgeous, shiny black lacquer thing. And I know that that's what they do. They have they have they make these movies where they have no like all the eyes. There's no like eyeball. It's all like a gorgeous like like shining blackness. There's nothing else. So I don't know what the message is because I've seen that since the 80s and the 90s. I think they had the music videos with entire black eyes, not like you got beat up and I'm talking about inside. It's just this shining. So this is all the messages they sing, like the great Bobby Hammett. He always was in tune. I mean, I'm sure he still is in tune with the spiritual realm. Especially the fourth dimension. So it's we cannot pretend they are not there. They are always with us. They are always with us. It's just because we are listening to FM radio, it don't mean that the AM radio don't exist no more, or vice versa. You go listen to AM radio, which is like there's another band, there's another frequency. And they are all there, and they are us. They are us. They are, my ancestors. You got your ancestors. They are us. They are like waiting for us, like the great Bobby Hammett used to say. How is it that you love so much your mother, or your grandma, whatever, your uncle, your godfather, and when the moment they die, you get scared of them? It's ridiculous. He always used to say that, that shit is ridiculous. How are you going to be like scared of them? They are right there. And, I try to remember to say goodnight to my dad, who just died on July 26th, the day before my mom's birthday. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I laugh because it's just like my mom is a Leo. So I can only imagine my mom saying, like, you had to die the day before my birthday. Because that's how Leos are. I don't know if they're wrong or right, whatever, but Leo energy is very special. Let's just say it like that. So, I mean, I don't know what else there is to say. It's just like a humongous virtual hug to the entire nation of Africa, of Nigeria, and the motherland, because of you all we exist, because of you all we are who we are, because I mean, it's just, and over here there's something that we are almost there. We're almost there because it was like, you're gonna tell me, all the archaeologists, all sociologists, historians, whatever, they understand that the the so-called Olmecs, which was the Tomoan Khan, that's why there's nothing written on the Tomoan Khan. Of course there's written. If you can find it, I will appreciate it. You'll find it because you know how to do that stuff. Tomoan Khan. They spell it with a CH. They spell it with a KH. Tomoan Khan. They spell it a different way, so we don't find them, the great ancestors that, not ancestors per se, but cultural ancestors, the civilizators, the mother culture. They call it the mother culture. There's only one civilization in the whole planet, and it's African civilization. It's just like there's no. And now when we open the Mayan train, which is going to connect all the major archaeological sites, you can see it right there. It's just like, unless they're like doing a great job as always, whitewashing everything. But you can see, and I'm thinking that maybe I want to go back home and I want to be a tour guide, for the African diaspora, and make sure, to make your stay in my country, the most effective, especially for people who are interested in the truth, what I call the truth seekers. Because the truth is not something we can seek, because we are truth. We are truth. That's why they hate us, because we are truth in their face. We are truth, and they are lies. We know that lies have very, very short legs, so they don't go very far. But it seemed that way because it's like, oh my God, it's just like, I want to be a Christian because there's so many so-called millions of Christians, but they don't tell me, like in my country, there's no such thing. We are the children of our mother, Coatlicue, Tonantzin Coatlicue, Tonantzin, or revere great mother. That's what it means, Tonantzin. Remember the zine I told you? Tonantzin, that's a great mother, which is Aser, what they call Isis, right? Coatlicue, the lady with the skirt of snakes. The lady with the skirt snake, which, it was a beautiful representation. You see it, Coatlicue. It's spelled like a coat. Some people, they call it coat because you spell like coat, but we pronounce it the way it sounds. We have only one pronunciation, not like the other ones. We have a million pronunciations for the same word. So it's just, you see her, she got the skirts of the snakes, it's like to remind us, the soil is pretty, the soil is real, the soil, it is what it is. I passed a bunch of berries on one of these trees. It's like, I mean, I don't know if they're edible berries, but they got a smell, it's like, because a lot of times people have squashed them. They step on these berries and it's like this big. They got a smell, and like, how many times I see people, I encounter people like, ew, natural smell, like the smell of a woman. You see that? No, also about the smell of our vagina. It's just like people are like, wow. And why? Because we are generations that became accustomed. You know, I mean, thank God in my family there was always, you know, I mean, that was the one thing I credit my father always say, stay away from that shit. We got natural oils, natural stuff. We don't need any washing, but I know a lot of bitches, they go out with Summer's Eve, the douche, washing. We still have a lot of the youngsters bleaching their teeth. And you tell them, you know, hey, that is a very delicate enamel. But it's not saying that. I'm saying how you say that. You know that word. It's crazy. You can fuck that up. They don't care. I met people, they go like once a month to bleach their teeth. It's just like, you don't make it, they look scary. They look scary because they're, especially in a club, you know, they open their teeth and they're like, ooh, what the hell is that? You know. But there's a lot of people that still believe in there. And they have a lot of problems, digestive problems, all kinds of problems. You know, douching is one of the worst things you can do. But we gotta ask ourselves, why are they look, they smell repulsive. How come nature smells repulsive? You know, that's another thing. How come, you know, when I started eating CMOS, 2 years ago, you know, a little bit 2 years ago, oh, that shit was the nastiest thing. I used to get honey, you know, I used to like, you know, and now I found it so tasty, and I'm able to walk again. Because why? We're minerally deprived of the minerals that we need. We are totally deprived. Nothing like, you know, like my friend who's like, he eats vitamins. And so like, you know, you pee all that shit, right? You know you pee all that shit because it's not refined. You know, as much as they say, oh yeah, we refined so they can penetrate the cell or whatever, right? Yeah, right. You know, I believe Dr. Sebi instead, you know, we are made out of 103 minerals. So if you're made out of 103 minerals, why you put vitamins? So a lot of mushrooms. When I wake up in the morning, that's it. Like I didn't even know they got protein. No wonder I feel so strong. I'm like, I know mushrooms got protein. So all that stuff, I cannot wait. You know, if I go back home, you know, I'm sure I'll be able to, you know, just crop my own shrooms. You know, that is the key. You know, the shrooms. That's why they say they are poisonous. They are poisonous. They say, oh, that shit is poisonous. Yeah, of course they are poisonous. You know, ones that you're able to see. You're able to see, you know, reality without the illusion of time. When you can see everything like, you know, like in the same room, you can get a diagram instead of, you know, all that stuff, you know, it's just like to them that they are not happy about that. They are not happy about that, you know. And they, you know, at one time I heard like, can you imagine all the people who have to die, you know, to find out which herbs and fruits and vegetables was edible and they was not poisonous. Like, but you're stupid. You're stupid. You can listen. You can listen to the plants. You can listen to the herbs, and they tell you. And they tell you all that. But you know, and it's not gonna be like listening, but it's a knowledge that comes from inside. And you don't need words. For wisdom, you don't need words. You know? So it's just like people like. For me, you know, I mean, when I got this obsidian necklace, I didn't even know what I was getting. I thought it was like, I told Dr. Mfundishi, I look him up, Dr. Mfundishi. He's right here on 125th Street. He's selling, he's got a doctorate degree, but he preferred to be with the people. And I said, can you make me a necklace? Because, I just love the way obsidian look. And he said, sure. He made it for me. So I'm so honored that somebody of his caliber, because he's the most humble man, the most educated and wise man, humble. They talk to anybody. So then I found out this shit is great protection. I found out months later, but I noticed, my life situation, improved, no drama, no nothing. And I started, and then I read, this is like one of the most effective weapons. And it's not just because, you can make very sharp knives with it and stuff. It is just the nature of this. And it's just kind of like you create a bond, and it's like, it's just like, there's no words to describe it. There's no words to describe it. I was away without it for a few weeks, and I felt it. That was when I found out about, 83-year-old Congresswoman Maxine Waters tribute to this gutter rap artist. She's just Megan Stallion. You can look it up. You will throw up. And saying that she's a role model for little girls. This interview, an hour and a half tribute for Harper's Bazaar. So, I lost my mind for a while. I was like, these bitches are really pimping out babies. That's why they're always wearing the latest whatever. So, needless to say, within 2 hours, they removed the videos. And I got a lot of energy from these maggots. I got pickpocketed. I had to make a list of all the shit that happened to me when I didn't have this. Coincidence? I don't think so. But you can say whatever you want, right? You can say whatever you want. So, yeah, I gotta bring my music. It's gonna be very strong. But that's what it is, a free country. That's just what it is. And this is like, you don't need to. A lot of the stuff that I later found out, what it is, I've done it myself. I think I go to the market, buy herbs, whatever, blah blah blah. Well, a lot of stuff, just of course, it's like Dr. Sebi. Like I say, I was watching his lectures for like 4 years. I never thought I was gonna like actually listen to him. I thought, oh, that's just for people who are like, or whatever. I used to think that it's just like, it's too hard. What do you mean, And of course, then with the lockdown and stuff, I was one of the ones who started buying a lot of book and ate it all in 1 week. I gained a lot of weight. And I say, F it, I'm gonna die, yeah, but not from, it's just like, and a lot of people I saw, they became very overweight. Very overweight because, it's like, that was not the idea that there was something, scarcity or whatever. It's just like they wanted to, if you are too acidic, you become easy prey. You become a paradise for disease. You become a paradise for bacteria and whatnot. And so, and that's scientific, and they know it. They know it's not just Dr. Sebi, it's not just that. They know that, the pH balance is it's just paramount. This shit is no matter how, if your pH fall into this acidic thing, you're gonna catch it. You're gonna catch it. You know, like we know all the cancers, they eat sugar. They eat sugar. You know, I met in my life, like, you know, at least 5 people they say, you know. I say, how you got cured? I started fasting, no sugar. And that shit went away. When I went back there, they said that shit was gone. No sugar, no sugar alone. It's just sad, you know, people that we lose every year. And you just say like, but now I know why, because the food is everything. The food is everything. They say the food talk. And you hear the food, the so-called food, the Franken food, talking for the people. That's where you hear all that stuff. Anyway, I overexcited myself. Congratulations on your great achievements. I think you're going for your 3rd year, right, or 4th year. I haven't really looked it up, which is rare because the first thing I look always at the channel. I look at the first video, and I look at the most popular video. I never done that with you. I think I used to. I've seen you for the past 2 years, but like I say, I have to open a new channel. You know, every so often, so then I forget. But you are one of the channels I always remember, and it's good to study other people's situation because it's the same enemy. We have the same enemy. And you can see a lot of the shit they applied in my home country, they did it to you.